In 1989, Soviet scientists suddenly freaked out and shut down the most ambitious project of the century. The legend says that when they lowered a microphone down to 12 kilometers deep, they didn't hear the movement of tectonic plates, they heard screams. Millions of people screaming. The recording got nicknamed the Well to Hell or Voices from Hell. But what if I told you the real story is actually way stranger and way scarier than any urban legend? Today on World Curious, we're going down into the deepest hole humanity has ever dug. Back in the 1960s, the whole world went crazy about space. Everyone was looking up at the stars. But while some were staring at the sky, others realized, hey, we're walking around on this planet, but we have no clue what's inside it. So in the US, they launched Project Mahole, this wild idea to drill through the ocean floor and reach the Earth's mantle. The Soviets couldn't just sit there and watch. That's how the reverse space race started. Not up to the stars, but down into the planet. But here's the thing. In space, your biggest enemy is vacuum. Down here, it's the rock itself, the matter that fights back. So why did the Soviet scientists head to the icy tundra of the Murmansk region? Simple. The Kola Peninsula is where some of the oldest rocks on Earth come right up to the surface. It's part of the Baltic Shield. You don't have to drill through miles of soft sediment layers first. You start biting straight into the planet's foundation, rocks that are 3 billion years old. It was a real chance to flip through Earth's history like a stone book. To give you a sense of the scale, the Kola Super Deep borehole went down 12,262 meters. Imagine Mount Everest. That's about 8,800 meters tall. Now stack another half of Everest on top of it, then flip that whole massive thing upside down and stick it straight into the ground. That's how deep they drilled. The steel cable holding the drill bit, it was so thin that under its own weight it could snap at any second. Drilling felt like trying to poke a giant cake with the thinnest sewing needle you've ever seen. The scientists had a nice clean prediction. They expected to find neat textbook layers, granite, then basalt, just like in school books. But when they hit around 7 kilometers, there was no basalt. None at all. The planet just laughed at their textbooks and said, nope, not today. Instead of basalt, they found the exact same granite. But this granite was completely crushed, smashed by insane pressure and heat. Decades of textbook theories about Earth structure, they just fell apart right there in the hole. But that was only the beginning. When the scientists pulled up samples from 3 kilometers down and compared them to the rocks that Soviet Luna probes brought back from the moon's surface, they were stunned. The composition was basically identical. That sparked a wild theory. The moon is literally a chunk of Earth that broke off billions of years ago. The Kola borehole became proof of some ancient cosmic catastrophe. Then came the real mind-blower, at around 7 kilometers deep. According to every physics law, it should have been solid, bone-dry rock. But the drill hit water. Hot, mineral-rich, boiling water soaking through the stone. Where the hell did it come from? Turns out, at those depths, water isn't leaking down from above. It's forming right there inside the crust from gases trapped in the rock. The Earth is literally sweating from the inside, and we had no idea. And the biggest shock of all? In rock samples 2 billion years old, they found microscopic fossils. 24 different kinds of ancient organisms. Everyone thought, no way life can survive that deep. Insane pressure, no oxygen, crushing heat. Wrong. The Kola Super Deep proved life is way tougher than we ever imagined. It's literally soaked into our planet for kilometers down. But the deeper the drill went, the weirder things started happening with the equipment. At some point, the workers heard something that gave birth to the scariest legend of the 20th century, the infamous Voices from Hell. In 1989, a wave of pure horror swept through Western media. Article after article claimed Soviet drillers had punched a hole straight into hell. They supposedly lowered a superheat-resistant microphone down the borehole and recorded sounds that would freeze your blood. Screams of agony, moans from millions of people, inhuman roars. Sounds terrifying, right? Now let's switch on some critical thinking. First off, at a temperature of 180 degrees and pressure of thousands of atmospheres, No microphone from back then would have lasted even a second. That audio clip floating around online is just a crude mashup of sound from the 1972 horror movie Barren Blood. But why did they really shut the project down? If it wasn't demons, what scared the USSR so bad? The real enemy turned out to be physics itself. Theoretical calculations promised a temperature at the bottom of around 100 degrees Celsius, but reality slapped the scientists right in the face. The sensors showed 180 degrees, and in some spots, even 200 degrees Celsius. At that depth, the rock stopped behaving like a solid. It turned viscous, like tar or hot plastic. The moment you pulled the drill out, the borehole would start flowing and collapse in just minutes under the insane weight of the planet. The drill bits kept breaking one after another. Every new run took weeks, and they were advancing only centimeters at a time. There was no money left in the collapsing country, and the technology just hit the ceiling of what humanity could do back then. In 1994, the project was mothballed. The scientists left, leaving behind the deepest, most expensive, and most mysterious empty hole in the world. Today, the Kola Super Deep Borehole is just a rusty hatch in the tundra. We never reached the Earth's mantle. We barely scratched its surface. But this failure taught us more than hundreds of successful missions ever could. So what do you think? Should humanity try again with modern tech? Drop your thoughts in the comments. In the next episode of World Curious, we're leaving the icy north for the scorching Sahara to check out a structure you can see even from the moon, the Eye of the Sahara. Is it a meteor crater or the ruins of Atlantis? Subscribe so you don't miss the truth.